Everyone keeps saying this one guy is worth $1 trillion. $1 trillion. I'm standing here on Wall Street right now, and I need to tell you, that number is not what you think it is. In fact, most of it doesn't actually exist.
This is the Tesla Gigafactory in Austin, Texas.
One of the most valuable car companies on the planet is built right here. And this building is basically where fortune lives, not in a bank account, not in cash, but in stock. Shares of Tesla, shares of SpaceX, numbers on a screen. Here's the thing most people don't understand about billionaire wealth. It's called paper wealth. Hey, Fight, quick question. Do you know roughly how many people work inside this factory?
About 20,000 across all shifts.
20,000 people. And the man who owns this place, Pleshet, his wealth isn't even real money. Let me explain. Think of it this way. If you own a house worth $500,000, you're not walking around with $500,000 in your pocket. You can't spend it. You can't give it to someone. It only becomes real money the day you actually sell it.
Wealth works exactly the same way a cruising, except at a scale that's almost impossible to comprehend.
And here's where it gets really interesting. If actually tried to sell a significant chunk of his Tesla shares mime, the market would panic. Investors would see him selling and start selling too. The stock price would crash, and suddenly his trillion-dollar fortune would be worth a fraction of that. The wealth exists only as long as he doesn't try to access it.
So if he can't actually spend his wealth, how does he fund his lifestyle? How does he buy mansions, fund political campaigns, launch rockets?
I'm standing outside one of Manhattan's private banking institutions right now, and the answer is right here. Ultra-wealthy individuals use a strategy that financial insiders call buy, borrow, die. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at billionaire wealth the same way again. You don't sell, because the moment you sell, you owe capital gains tax. In the US, that can be up to 20% or more. So they borrow instead of selling, using stock as collateral?
Exactly, Trang. And loans aren't taxable, so no tax gets paid at all.
No tax on billions of dollars. Completely legal. Step 2, borrow. Instead of selling your stock, you use it as collateral to take out loans from banks. Low interest loans. Because the bank knows your stock is worth $1 trillion, they'll lend you billions against it. And here's the key. Loans are not income. You don't pay income tax on a loan. So can borrow billions, spend it however he wants, and pay almost zero tax. Step 3, Tanti, die. When he eventually passes away, his assets get transferred to his heirs.
Under current US tax law, those assets get what's called a stepped-up basis trizz, meaning the capital gains essentially reset. His heirs can then use the same buy, borrow, die strategy all over again. The wealth transfers almost entirely intact, generation after generation.
This is completely legal. This is how the ultra-wealthy operate. And this is why billionaires like he can be worth $1 trillion on paper while paying a lower effective tax rate than many middle-class Americans. Now here's where the story gets uncomfortable. I'm walking toward the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. And what I'm about to tell you connects the dots between his wealth and something much bigger. He donated an estimated $277 million to support presidential campaign. That is the single largest political donation by any individual in American history. And shortly after 110, things started changing for his companies in very specific ways. Do you think donations were connected to what happened after the election?
The pattern is clear, largest donor in history, and his companies benefited almost immediately.
SpaceX began receiving signals that regulations around its public listing could be eased, potentially allowing it to go public faster, which would unlock enormous additional value for Hyas. Tesla received favorable treatment in federal EV policy discussions, and he himself was given a government advisory role through what became known as DOGE.